Hello my crafty friends, it's Beverleigh here over at Crafting Chaos, and I'm here with another embellishment series video, embellishment series 6. And this is going to be showing you how to make a 5-petaled flower. In previous videos I've showed you how to make even numbered petal flowers. This one I'm going to show you how to make a 5 or an odd number. So first of all, on the basic shapes I'm looking for a nice petal shape, and I've selected that one. My first step, I'm going to resize it down a little bit so it's just over 1.5 inches at the widest point. I'm then going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to flip it on the horizontal axes, line them up point to point with a little gap between. I'm going to select both and go to edit and center them on the vertical axes. Okay, I'm going to select them both and then I'm going to group them. I'm going to hit D on my keyboard until I have 5 sets of pairs. I am then just checking here that I've got the 5 because I got a little bit distracted how many times I've done it. And then I'm going to center them on the vertical and the horizontal axes so they're effectively a stack of shapes. Then I'm going to click on the first one and I'm going to open the properties dialog box, move that off to the side so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to be rotating this by 72 degrees. I'm then going to ungroup the layer and I'm going to delete that one to the left. I'm going to click on the stack again, rotate this time by 144 degrees, again go to edit and ungroup and delete the one towards the top. Again, going onto the centre stack, this time I'm going to rotate by 216 degrees. I'm going to ungroup and then I'm going to click the one at about 5 past and delete that. I'm going to do this last time, and this time I'm going to rotate by 288 degrees. I'm going to ungroup and I'm going to delete the one on the 20 past, and then I'm going to click on the centre, ungroup and delete the bottom one. That gives you a perfectly aligned and exactly positioned number of petals at the right angles for a 5 petal flower. I'm then going to add that to the centre. Just check the size, just moving the circle in so I can weld them together. Just checking the size of my circle, seeing when I think it's about right. I think that's looking okay. So then I'm going to move it off to the side while I group the rest of the 5 petals. Move the circle back in centre by doing centre vertical, centre horizontal, and then I'm going to weld them. So process overlap and weld. So now we've got a 5-petaled flower. So I'm just going to adjust that slightly because I wanted to get another copy of those. So I'm going to do that again, select them both, delete, I have another circle. So I'm going to again just align them centrally and on the horizontal, vertical and horizontal, and edit, process overlap and weld. And what I decided to do was make a slightly smaller circle for the centre of the other shape. I'm going to put them centrally, horizontal and vertical, and then I'm going to weld them, and it will give us a slightly different shaped flower. These would be nice shapes to stack one on top of the other if you were hoping to do that and make a more 3-dimensional flower. I'm just going to give them a bit of colour so you can see them better on the screen. And like I say, they're a perfect degrees apart, the petals. Okay, so I'm going to rotate that 36 degrees just so you can see what it'll look like matted on top of the other one. Okay, so you could cut those two together, make a dimensional flower. Obviously these can all be resized to any shape you want. Then I'm going to bring on the notched petal shape. Again, going to resize it just over 1.5 inches. Going to make it a little bit narrower, I can't say that, just under 1 inch. And I'm going to flip it and put the pointed edges together. I'm going to highlight both, line them up centrally, and then I'm going to group them. Okay, so again, hitting D on my keyboard for a total of 5 pairs of petals, align on the vertical and on the horizontal axes to give us that stack of shapes. Click off and then just click effectively on the top one and rotate by 72 degrees. Go to Edit, Ungroup and delete the one off at about 22. Click on the central ones again. This time rotate them by 144 degrees. Again, edit, ungroup them and delete the one at 5-2. Back onto the centre. This time rotate by 216 degrees. Edit, ungroup. And again, now move the one at 5 past centrally again, and this time for 288 degrees. Edit, ungroup those petals and delete the one at just after 1/4 past. Then the centre ones again, just edit, ungroup and then delete the bottom one. And again, now you've got that perfectly placed 5-petaled flower, which I am now going to group. I'm going to bring on a circle so that I can weld them at the centre. So I'm going to drag on a circle, resize it, place it at the centre of my petals, highlight both by dragging the box round, edit centre vertical, edit centre horizontal, and edit process the overlap and weld. So now we have a third 5-petaled flower. Again, I'm just going to add some colour so it shows up better on the screen. And again, these can be resized and stacked on top of each other to give 3-dimensional shapes. Again, just showing you that any of them, once you've made them, can be resized to the desired size that you wish to have them at. So it's a similar process to the even petaled number flowers, except you've just got to be careful about your rotation and deleting the petals. Now I'm just going to try a daisy-like petal. I'm going to just go through the steps once more, tip to tip, align them on the vertical axes and group them. It's essential that you do group them before you actually duplicate them for a total of 5 lots of pairs of petals, and then centre them on the horizontal and vertical. Click off, click onto the top one, rotate 72 degrees. Edit, again ungroup, delete the one at 22, back onto the middle where the stack is, rotate 144 degrees, edit, ungroup, and delete the one at 5-2. Centre again, this time rotate by 216 degrees. Again, edit, ungroup. This time delete the one at 5 past. And for a final time of rotation, this time by 288 degrees. Then edit, ungroup. And delete the one at 20 past. And finally, click on the centre again, ungroup and delete the one at 1/2 past. Again, that's giving us a lovely 5-petaled flower. So this time I'm going to weld, and you can see I've got a little star shape at the centre. So I'm going to deal with that by getting a little daisy sort of rounded flowery shape. I'm going to put that in the centre. It looks to me a little bit like the shape that a centre of a daffodil might be. But I'm going to get rid of that by double clicking to expose the nodes, drag an imaginary box around the centre ones that are going to try to cut that little bit, and click minus. So that's got rid of those in the middle. I can make that one, I'm going to make it yellow like a daffodil, and then I'll make the other one an orangey colour and put that in the centre. And I think that has a look somewhat of a daffodil, but it could be any other flower. And again, these can be resized as you desire. Now I'm going to give my file a name. I'm going to call it something like 5 Petal Flower. and then I am going to save by clicking the second icon along, as you see, and that says it's going to be overwriting my project, but that's fine because I was happy to do that. I had nothing on there that I was worried about losing. Then I can finally download the file. That's it pretty much for this video. If you've enjoyed it and it's helped you, please like, share and subscribe. Please remember to tell your friends where they can find me, over on YouTube at Beverleigh's Crafty Chaos, or over on my blog at Beverleigh 10 Blogspot, where I always include free downloads for the files that I create on YouTube, and I also include some files that I've not made videos for, but I'm just sharing the files because I thought my crafty friends might like to use them for themselves in the project. So that's it for now. I'm just highlighting them together, making sure they're all on the mat, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.